Back here for game number 3 of the 2024 MLB RBI Central Regional Tournament. Joey Fear, Gabby Chernoff with you. Excited to bring you this coverage as the Chicago White Sox make their debut in this tournament against the Kansas City Royals, who had a rough first outing against Indy. So they're looking to try to respond. White Sox looking to get off on the front foot. Kale Hopner, who had a great first outing herself with 2 hits in the first game. She's looking to continue what has been a bright spot for this team. So 1-1 count. Chicago White Sox have Janelle Simpson on the mound at a Crede Monte High School in Monte, Illinois. So 2 balls to strike. Hopner will see the 2-1. Just a bit high and swings and misses, 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, it has been an exciting day of softball so far. Not too much time in between the games, only about 10 minutes or so. So they are ready to go. The 2-2 popped up high in shallow center field. And the center fielder comes under it, able to make that grab.
Good out to get the defense going early here in the first for the White Sox RBI program.
Yeah, Janaea Pillow all over that. So 1 out. Next up on deck, Allie Compton. One ball, no strikes, 1 out. This White Sox team went 3-1 last year, not able to advance to the final. They lost on the tiebreaker due to runs allowed. Talking to their coach yesterday, he said this team is excited and ready to bring home an RBI World Series to south side of Chicago. 1-1, way low.
Yeah, like you said, just missed that championship game. It was Cleveland and Cincinnati. Those were the 2 powerhouses in this central region for a very long time. And you would think with how close the White Sox were last year, both those teams not in the same region anymore, they might have a pretty good shot here at making that championship this year.
And the 1-2 high. 2-2. Gabby, Royals, not the best of starts. How do they respond here in game 2?
They had a nice break. It was an early morning, and they just kind of couldn't get the bats going. Indy had a very good stint there where they were just firing run after run after run. They kept the bases loaded for a very long time. I think for Kansas City here, they're really going to have to work on their play in the field, because that's kind of what bit them last time, was they weren't able to make plays in the infield and in the outfield, and that's how Indy was able to tack so many runs on the final score in that game. 14-3. It went just 5 innings. But she'll get on base here. This is Compton with a walk.
Yeah, Compton gets walked. So Janelle Simpson has got the command on the mound. 1 out. So due up is Maddie Morris, a versatile player. Ball, no strikes with 1 down.
They moved Maddie Morris down in the lineup. She was batting 3rd in that first game. They will have her 4th in this one. But Morris in that game, she went 1 for 3 with a single.
That went to Olivia Calderon, the second baseman, a routine catch on a fly out. So the Royals with 1 on here and 2 down. So due up, Emma Morgan. A lineup that is looking to get on base early. So 1 walk. Ball, no strikes. Two down. The 1-0 count. And swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove for a strike, 1-1. This is a White Sox team with a lot of talent, a lot of returning players as well. A wild pitch that got away from the catcher in Herrera, but not much there. So 2 balls, a strike with 2 outs. Runner at first. And there's a second strike, 2-2. So Deuces run wild. Janelle Simpson going to start off on the right foot here. She digs in low. The 2-2 and chopped up into center field as Pillow comes under it with an easy routine catch. As the White Sox go through 4 batters, no runs allowed, no hits as we head to the bottom of the first here on WCSN. Back here for the bottom of the first. So we'll see the White Sox on their offense. First time they've showed out today. A team that's 3-1 last year. 3 dominant performances. They were plus 26 in the run differential. Only game they lost to was the Guardians, 4-1. But they allowed an average of 3.5 runs per game. This is a team that was great and sound on the defensive end. Has a lot of returning players. So leading off for them is Kendall Rainey, the shortstop. And she bunts, goes low, and just fouled left side.
She really got those legs moving under her. She's fast.
Well, and one thing we talked about was, that first hitter on the top of the lineup. Seen a lot of speed from those hitters, and that's certainly a strategical play. They have never won an RBI World Series. Perhaps this is the year they can do it.
At least make an appearance down in Florida there. This is a well-established program. They're just a little bit south of here, a crosstown rival of the Cubs.
There is a strike on that side. And the coach talked about last year, the game against the Guardians, they've never seen some of the pitching like that. And, the coach was just like, wow, as that ball's popped up into center field, Hopner comes under it with a routine catch. So Rainey goes down. This brings in Janiyah Pillow, the center fielder. Kendall Rainey, the Purdue commit, went down as she's looking to have a better showing next time, but only first in the lineup. 1-0 count with one down.
This White Sox dugout is just pretty loud here.
I wonder what the game like between them and Gary will be like. A lot of shouting.
That'll be like a chant off from the dugouts.
A ball and a strike with one out. Derby, we talked about Gabby last time. She had a fast start and looking to do that again. So she's got a great arm, and she definitely had a good command. When she went out of that last game, that's when things started to take a turn. But a 2-1 count with one down. That pitch is inside, but found the strike zone. 2-2.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised they brought her back out again. She started that first game, like you just said, hit a little bit of a bump in the road. They took her out, and that's kind of when things really blew open. She had a pretty strong start. Not, I think, as strong as she would have liked to, or as strong as her team would have liked to. But she did good. She had four strikeouts. She had command for a good chunk of that game, and then she just, like I said, hit a bump in the road, and they took her out. But when those pitching issues started to kind of come to light, they brought in two more from the bullpen as she walks there. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they brought her back into that one. It ended early, though, but they have her back out here again.
Well, this is somebody that knows how to make contact with the ball. Maya Harrison, remind you, she had the most home runs yesterday, but 7 in the first, 5 in the second round. I mean, Gabby, we were talking yesterday. I mean, once she saw one go over the fence, it was like 2, 3, 4. She put them in abundance.
Yeah, you don't want to let her kind of get into her swing of things.
Well, how about that play? Pillow on her way to second, showing the speed. That throw from Morgan just couldn't connect with the second baseman, Breedlove. So Maya Harrison, big opportunity for her. One gone, the 1-0, and fouled back, just sliced at it low. Maya Harrison out of Proviso Math and Science Academy. She's another Broadview, Illinois product. We have seen a couple of those. Harrison swings and misses. Looking to make contact with it. 1-2. Maya Harrison and Savannah Roberts went toe-to-toe in that derby yesterday. Looking to translate that same level of hitting today. The 1-2, Harrison whacks at it, and it pops into left center field, and not down before Pillow can round third, get for home, and Maya Harrison with a one-run RBI double.
Really good hit by Harrison there to bring Pillow home. I think she was a little bit later than she would have liked. Kind of hit the top of her bat, popped up, lobbed way up there, but it dropped. She got to second and brought a run home to open the scoring in this one.
Zaria Hatcher, the coach's daughter, who was also in that home run derby. She has a great swing as she lobs one into shallow left field. Hatcher looked to go second. She's going to stay at first. How about that? So one down, and the White Sox have a chance to double this lead. And the first pitch outside. There's Olivia Calderon, the second baseman. Hatcher gets to second, a bit of miscommunication. So runners in scoring positions. Olivia Calderon. Lincoln Way West product, entering her senior year. Manhattan, Illinois. The only Manhattan native on this roster. What are you looking forward to most about this White Sox team?
I think just with how established they are, they're going to be a really competitive team. They're already scoring pretty early in this one with just one down. They have some really good hitters that we saw yesterday in that home run derby. It seems like they have a really good coach who's not afraid to communicate with them. I saw that yesterday when their two players that they had sent for the derby were warming up. He was really communicating with them, kind of coaching them through, and even when they were out there swinging during the actual derby there, he just very communicative with them, and that can make all the difference. If you have a good coach who's talking you through everything and making little tweaks here and there as he sees things, communication can really make all the difference. And with the amount of kind of talent and veteran experience returners that they have on this roster, I think they're just going to be a really fun competitive team to watch.
The 1-1 from Derby, inside, just a bit low of the plate, 2-1. Yeah, talking to the coach yesterday, he was he told Zaria Hatcher, you have to rip through the ball. We're telling you to swing through the ball and not give up right in the moment you make contact. You have to follow through, and that's exactly what she did on that first at bat. She stands at second, Harrison at third. Olivia Calderon, well, they could either see a ball, but this is an opportunity with a 3-1 count. Derby knows that she's going to have to try to throw something over the plate. The 3-1, high and outside for ball number 4. So right away we see the White Sox already implementing their offensive game. The bases are juiced. Angelina Silvas, another returner. So an experienced group. Like you talked about, they've already been established. This is the year they feel that they can take that jump.
It's really good. They have deep roots. They're kind of planted their feet in this RBI program. Like I said, well established. This could be a really good year for them. They have an opportunity to do some pretty cool things.
One down, 2-0 count. Calderon stands at first, Hatcher at second. The runner-up in the home run derby, Maya Harrison at third. That ball's quick on the ground to Morris, who throws to Morgan. That's not in time. They gave up on the play. Hatcher gets home too. That's 2 runs scored. And already up 3-0.
That would have been a pretty incredible play at the plate there, the throw to home with the runner approaching the plate. She had it in her glove and she had her foot on the bag and it like slipped out of her glove there. But that would have been a really good play. She was really close to having that out.
It certainly was. That could have been, that was a make or break play there. Like, I mean, if she gets out there, that stops a run, that keeps the runners on, but you're only down one, and now in that situation, not the best of situations, but Morgan looks to just be getting some treatment from her coaching and staff. I mean, she's resilient, especially as a catcher. That is one of the hardest positions. Like you talked about, you have to see the field, have to have good communication with the pitcher, and able to make the right throws and on time in the right moments. So Emma Morgan is just down here for a bit, but how can Kansas City clean things up defensively? Is it just not having the errors? Is just minimizing those?
Yeah, I think, they're probably a little bit shaken up after this start, things not going the way they wanted to, kind of like it was in the first game, but I think they need to just kind of plant their feet, stay grounded, regroup a little bit, which they took the time to do just there, and they should be set to hopefully rally back from the damage that was done in this opening inning.
So Kenzie Lee, the third baseman, she'll step in. Calderon stands at third, Silvas at second. Kenzie Lee. That's popped up, foul near the dugout. Heading into her sophomore year at Hamilton Southeastern High School out in Fishers, Illinois. Runners on second and third, a low pitch from Derby. That goes away.
She had a really good kind of inside break on that one. It was straight most of the way and then kind of just curved down and in a little bit. She decided not to go on it.
As that's another wild pitch that gets away. Calderon glides on home. Silvas to third. And the White Sox up 4-0 here in the top of the first.
Yeah, they've really kind of taken command offensively here to kick things off.
They're a team with a lot of firepower coming in. Royals just trying to minimize that. It's a bit high from Derby as Kenzie Lee will get walked. Runners at the corners. This brings in Alani Herrera. The infield of this Royals team trying to come together and start to find something here. And Derby in that first game, she was so good with the arm, getting back 3 straight strikeouts at times, and just looking to build off of that. Not the best of starts for the Royals, but a lot of time left in this game. They're going to have to do the best they can to get out of this inning right now.
Yeah, I thought a little kind of break for Derby might help just after the start she had. They brought her back here, not doing probably what they wanted her to do. So they'll regroup for the second time this inning, talk things over, and come to a conclusion on what they would like to do on the mound.
As we talked about, this is still a fairly new softball program. Carrie Kinke decided to take the reins on this one. And she has an incredible softball background. So, it's a work in progress, and they know that. But they have a lot of talented girls on this roster that are ready to make an impact now. And they believe they can. They're just going to have to find a bit of a way to get out of this inning and start to build off of that. So we've seen every team play except one in the softball division, the Chicago Cubs, the hometown team. They'll play off later this afternoon. What have you liked so far about what you've seen, not only this game but through the first 2.5 games?
I think all these girls are really just here for each other. I mean, we reiterate how much of a good experience this probably is for them, and that it goes beyond just playing softball, but they're cheering each other on. They're doing their best to kind of make improvements throughout the game. You can see they really care about what's happening here and the opportunity that they've been given to kind of come together for this all-star team, play, represent their city. It's got to be cool for them.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I think, been really fun to
Yeah.
see that. This is a cool thing for them. It's cool for us to be here
Yeah.
too. We're very happy to be here. So lots of fun through the first 2 and some change games.
Yeah, beautiful weather as well. Slight breeze coming out of the east. So Silva stands at third. A wild pitch there from Maddie Morris, who looks like she'll be taking over. So Derby goes to third with Morris at the pitching position. So just a swap there. Morris fires away. Just an outside pitch. 8th batter in the order, Herrera. Just out and away once more.
When she first took them out to warm up, she was getting a lot of them out and away, just like you said, too. And then she kind of corrects her movement after she sees the pitch not really go the way she wants it to. And I think that one does. The throw to first now will be in time. That'll do it. The final out of the inning. Or just kidding. They're resetting the scoreboard here.
A little bit of scoreboard issues right now, but no, they'll get that.
Well, now it does say 3, but it's not.
They'll get that settled. Melania Crane in the bottom of the order in the 9-hole spot. Crane from McKinley Junior High, South Holland, Illinois. And another pitch that gets away from Morgan, and walking on home is Kenzie Lee. And the White Sox, great start from them. Executing on all cylinders.
Yeah, you hear a lot about that kind of relationship, the chemistry between pitchers and catchers, and it seems like that might be what's part of the issue here. I mean, when that can be executed, when that relationship is strong, when there's chemistry there, we saw it with that last Gary Indy game. The catcher and pitcher were sisters, so a little bit of an uncommon advantage that they have there, but it just goes to show when you have a good relationship, you have firm roots, your feet planted on the ground with that relationship, that it can be established, that it'll do a lot for you. I mean, she had 12 strikeouts in that game with a good relationship with her catcher, so it instills confidence. It kind of provides a sense of calm. It can calm you down if you really trust your catcher, and so that might be a little bit of the issue here for this Kansas City squad.
So you do have a Purdue commit here, Kendall Rainey, as she just bunted looks to be out from there. A little bit of miscommunication. The umpire, I did not see what it was. But anyways, that is going to be a 6-run inning for the White Sox. We head to the top of the second, 6-0 Sox. We'll be back in a moment. You're on the Windy City Sports Network. Return to the top of the second here on the Windy City Sports Network. As the White Sox already have put the foot on the gas. Mia Trowbridge. She'll stand in. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 count. Simpson delivers with a ball 3. So the Royals trying to find some bit of offense. This is a team that showed signs of life offensively last game. And 2 runs in the 5th inning. And how about that discipline from Trowbridge? Exactly what she needed. Saw 4 straight balls. That's a good start here on the top of the second.
Yeah, it is. That's kind of how a couple of their innings went in the first game, too. They were able to get on base with their leadoff hitter in the inning, and then they kind of loaded the bases from there. They weren't able to drive a lot of those runs home necessarily, but they were able to get on base. So that's a start. Maybe they kind of discussed that after the fact, made some changes, some tweaks, and they'll be able to drive home more of those runs, leaving less guys on.
So Derby, it's her turn on the offensive side. As on her way to second, the throw from Herrera, the tag from Rainey, and just did not get there in time. How about that? Putting on the afterburners for Trowbridge, and she puts herself in scoring position.
And that's what you need to. You need someone who's going to say, you know, there's something to be said about being selfless for your team, but at a certain point, you got to kind of take charge. And all it takes is one person to kind of take charge and say, hey, guys, we need to do this. We need to get this done. And that could be a really good sign of life and just kind of bolstering the offense here, getting the ball rolling for them.
Yeah, they're going to have to be more aggressive, like you talked about, to get back into this game. Not afraid to take a chance. And those throws were those 50-50 throws where it's in between the runner and the tagger, and they got to win those. 2 balls and a strike for Janelle Simpson as Derby chops one out, right side foul. Runner in scoring position for the Royals. Haven't had any hits yet. Every time they've reached base, they've been walked. Derby slices one left side. Two balls, 2 strikes. Near the top of the second inning. Sunny afternoon in Chicago. The White Sox right now feeling themselves on both sides, but only no outs right now. And now a full count here. A big pitch from Simpson. She's got to be smart. Can Derby get something on it?
Yeah, she has to be smart about it. They've got a runner in scoring position.
The full count delivery inside for ball 4. Derby was smart at the plate. Did not swing at it, and she'll get to first. So runners at first and second, no outs. Can the Royals start to dig into this lead with the first baseman, Gracie Hatcher?
They're sticking with, so far, the same order that they went with in their first game this morning.
Coach Carrie Kinke, she trusts that order. She trusts her team as well. No balls, a strike. Simpson digs in low, releases the 0-1, and that is popped out into left field. That ball gets down before the track. Trowbridge on her way home. Rounding third is Derby. The play at the plate. She slides in safe, and the Royals get 2 runs. And now that ball went over, perhaps an inside the park home run. She slides in and is safe. Gracie Hatcher, a 3-run inside the park home run. How about that?
That's a pretty crazy sequence of events. They've now cut the lead in half. They've dug themselves out of the hole with nobody down, and that's problems with fielding on the defensive side of things. I mean, those first 2 were going to score. There's nothing you can do there, but that could have been limited to a 2 RBI double, and instead it's an inside the park home run. They're able to tack on 3 instead of 2, and if you had her at second, you had 2 bases you could have gotten her out at, and she came home to score on the play she hit the ball. So that's a pretty good situation, I would say, for the Royals.
Very good situation. The way they have on offensive side, that has been the biggest play for them, and what a moment. They needed that. A 3-run inside the park home run and a new sign of life from the team from the Kansas City. Annabelle Breedlove looking to follow that. Gracie Hatcher, what a moment for her and for this team. The 0-1 count with no outs, remind you. That's popped up high near the dugout.
And that pitch that Simpson threw to Hatcher, it was right down the middle. It was a straight line right over the plate. And you could tell Hatcher really liked that play. She got a good piece on it, obviously, and then just sent it to the track. And like you said, that's a huge play, an inside the park home run.
The 0-2 on the ground on the left side, out in foul territory. That was as good of a hit we've seen from this Kansas City team today. Hatcher getting all of that one, and yeah, like you talked about, those first 2 runs were going to score, but I don't think they believed. They kind of gave up on the play. Hatcher just kept running the bases. And a valiant effort. The 0-2. Breedlove skies it back, stays in the count.
Simpson's fastball is looking really good here, really consistent right down the middle. But if you keep doing that, that's really easy for a batter to read. She's thrown a couple of those right in a row. That's what the pitch to Hatcher was. So if she wants to kind of get a little bit more deception here, she's going to, and that's not a good example of it, but she's going to need to try and change things up.
And a shallow ground ball that goes away from Hatcher. How about that?
I mean, that's exactly what I said. She kept throwing those fastballs just right down the middle, right down the center. And that's easy to catch on to if that's all she's throwing, and she's not trying to kind of mix things up or anything, because that's what's going to confuse a batter, get them swinging or get them looking.
As Larissa Zaragoza, it's her turn here, batting in the 9th spot. Well, what a turnaround it's been for the Royals here in the top of the 2nd. Bottom of the 1st, gave up 6 runs. After the last game, just trying to find some momentum, and they certainly did there. The 0-1, and shows bunt, but pulls it back for a strike, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes.
Still nobody away either.
Yeah, that's an important thing to point out. No outs.
They could tie this game up in this inning. They have an ample opportunity to. And the earlier they can get themselves back in it, the better it is for them.
What a turnaround this has been for the Royals, but there's still more work to be done. The 1-2 from Simpson, way low. Herrera was there to slide and see that in the dirt. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2. And paints the right corner. Zaragoza goes down looking. As we return to the top of the order. Somebody that has been swinging the bat well. Cale Hopner. And top of the order. Simpson delivers. Boy, Hopner really got a piece of that one. Just went right side of the bullpen. Foul territory. Six to 3, already 9 runs combined, and only 3 hits. Hopner swings up top.
Took a big chop at that one. It was high.
0-2. One down. The 0-2. Just a bit higher than the last pitch. It goes out of the strike zone, 1-2. One down, the 1-2 from Simpson. Swinging a sharply hit ground ball over to Rainey. He steps on second, and boy, she goes down. As Breedlove was sliding into second. Kendall Rainey. Boy, she went down. That was a tough slide there from Breedlove.
Yeah, she was trying to tag that base at second and get the ball to play it over to first. And she just went down really awkwardly. I don't think she saw the runner sliding in there. And so just kind of an awkward play. I think the runner probably saw her. Nothing malicious intent going on there, but just a collision over at second as Rainey tried to make the double play.
Yeah, like you talked about, she was just in the path of, both players were doing the right thing. But just, you hope Kendall Rainey's okay. Got a bright future ahead. As I said, committed to a school in West Lafayette in the Big Ten and Purdue. Riley Compton batting second in this lineup, and way outside, she swings and misses. The Kansas City Royals, 3 runs here. Top of the second, and a shallow fly ball that goes over the head of the shortstop. A great hit there from Compton. Puts her on first, and a single. Advances the runners, puts one in scoring position, and that puts the tying run at the plate. Maddie Morris, it's her turn.
Yeah, Morris was named a key player by her coach here, so it will be really interesting to see if she can drive herself home and drive those other two of her teammates home as well. Like you said, the tying run now at the plate.
Two down, the 1-0. And a shallow pop-up to Herrera, who makes an excellent play. Calm, cool, and collected, but not before the Royals cut this lead in half. A 3-run inside the park home run from the first baseman, Gracie Hatcher, has put this at a 6-3 score. We'll head to the bottom of the second here on the Windy City Sports Network. To the bottom of the second we go. There's Janiyah Pillow. She'll get going. Start things off. White Sox 6 runs in the first inning, but they've been out-hit. And Pillow, a good bunt, but just goes foul.
These first two in the order for the White Sox here are really quick. I mean, Pillow didn't see that ball going foul behind her, and she really can get her legs moving underneath her on the way to first, which is important at the top of the lineup, just being able to get on base when you don't have the most amount of time ever. But when you have these really fast girls who can run and get there, whereas others can, it's really good to have them as good hitters and as fast runners at the top of your order.
Anthony Olivo, the White Sox director of community baseball programs, he said and talked about how important it is that the game of softball has grown. But Pillow on her way to first. It was a drop third strike, and she'll go out for 2 down. But he talked about, and he said, look at the WNBA, for example, like people like Caitlin Clark pushing the game and providing a platform for women's sports to excel. And he's seen that translate into the softball program as well here in Chicago. And it has been a big storyline for this team. And he's just excited to see it grow as somebody that can certainly help do that. Maya Harrison is due up. 1 down. That goes right side of the plate. 1-0.
Yeah, like you said, just talking about women's sports, I think women's college sports has just done a lot for women's professional sports. You mentioned Caitlin Clark, obviously that's the name that comes to mind, but her entire draft class into the WNBA, they're so fun to watch. They make it interesting to watch. People who were only interested in the NBA or maybe not even basketball at all are now watching the WNBA. They're selling out these huge venues that they never would have been able to even dream of packing just even a year ago.
As Harrison slices one into right field for a base hit. Yeah, you talk about it. I mean, that's just it's been the name of the game the past couple of years, and You talked about women's college hoops, but that success and that popularity has carried over. Before that, it used to be just the U.S. women's national soccer team. Before that, now they've really pushed this game, and it's been great to see as that ball looks to, boy, that was close to stay fair. Just went on the left field foul line before that third base. It's Aria Hatcher.
But even beyond just basketball, I mean, the Women's College World Series is one of the biggest stages, if not the biggest stage in the world for softball.
Hatcher flies out. And you talk about the success of the College World Series. Teams like Oklahoma.
Right, these big SEC powerhouse schools, people down there are all baseball, all football. But when you have these really good women's sports teams in general, but especially softball, it's really good for the growth of the game. They're very similar games. It's very similar to call them. Obviously, the pitching is different. There's a couple different rules. It's a smaller field, but it's just as exciting of a game, in my opinion.
Oh, no doubt. A lot of action, a lot going on.
And these batters, too, it's really interesting to see how they're reading pitches because you have a shorter distance from the mound to the plate, and so they don't have as much time to decipher what the pitch may be if they're trying to really look at it and analyze it before they decide whether or not they want to swing at it. They don't have as much time to do so. So when you find a pitcher who's really good at just kind of getting those pitches she wants, putting them in the spots she wants, and a batter who can really decipher that in the split second she has to do so, it's really fun. It's a really fun part of the game.
Certainly is, as Calderon will take first. She sees 4 straight balls. She's been walked twice today. Angelina Silvas, RBI double, her last time up at the plate. Maddie Morris with a strike across the plate, 0-1. And the 0-1 finds the strike zone once more, 0-2. And after giving up 6 runs in the first, they respond here in the top half of this inning with 3 runs of their own. Looking to shut out the SOX in this inning. There's a ball. Each team with 3 hits. The 1-2 way outside.
She likes that pitch. Kind of goes in a straight line. She tries to get it to spin out right towards the very end.
Yeah, tries to paint that right corner. And up high on this pitch, 3-2. So now, full count with 2 down. A chance to put this inning away, or perhaps give up some more runs. The 3-2 way outside for ball 4. So that is going to load the bases. Still 2 outs. All they need is 1 here.
And if they can get that out, that would do a lot, I think, just for the momentum and the kind of flow of this game. I mean, Kansas City gives up 6 in the first, and that's not going to help as this run comes in to score. But they give up 6, and if they were able to get that last out along with that, those 3 runs they had kind of in response in that first inning, that would have been really good for their momentum.
And Maya Harrison charges on home. And a wild pitch. 2 down. A 1-0 count. Runners advance. Silvas at second. Calderon stands at third. The 1-0. A little bit high for a 2-0 count. Seven runs from the team in black and white. And a 2-0. You think Morris is rushing it a little bit, or is it just the fact that she just can't find the zone?
A little bit. I think she was frustrated she couldn't get that last out because that really would have done a lot for her team. As I just said,
3 balls and a strike here for 2 down. Have to find a way to close innings. That's such an important piece, especially this weekend. Able to get out of jams. The 3-1 sliced into right center field, and that's going to get down for an RBI single. And then once again, Silvas gets home. A 2-run RBI single. And just like that, had an opportunity to allow no runs here in this second inning, and they give up 2. Kenzie Lee with a walk and a 2-run RBI single. That's bounced on the ground. A slow roller from Herrera. And she'll get to first.
and I think this was part of their struggle this morning too, is just finishing out, closing the inning on both sides of the ball. They had trouble doing so when they let things get away from them, as we saw in that first game. They really let them get away from them, and that's almost what's happening here as well. And when they had that 3-run stint in the second, when they were trying to kind of find themselves back, they needed more than that, and they had the opportunity to do so. They had 2 on, and then the batter came up, and they just couldn't execute. So they're gonna have to find a way in this tournament to just really finish and close out.
Especially in those spots where you have those 2 outs and runners on base, and you need 3 strikes or need to get it out. As a pitch once again that goes away from Morgan. Just bounced in the dirt, bounced off her chest. Now Kenzie Lee at third. There is Mylan Crane. As Morgan charged on over, she was looking at Lee. She has her eyes on Kenzie Lee. The 2-0 high. Three balls, no strikes, 2 down. The 3-0 in the dirt once more for ball 4. This will take us to the top of the lineup. Good to see Kendall Rainey back up on her feet after that collision in the top half of this inning. She is a tough girl. There's a strike across the plate. So the Royals 3 runs in the top half of this inning. The SOX have responded with 3 of their own. Looking to add to it. The 0-1 way high from Morris. Kenzie Lee charges on home for the 10th run for the White Sox.
More bullpen troubles here for Kansas City. Be interesting to see what the approach is for the rest of the tournament, if they can kind of get their arms where they want them to be.
There's certainly that. And their infield's been good. I mean, their infield has been good as goes out there. And that ball, it bunted on the ground, went left to the left field line. They did call that out. But nonetheless, 4 runs for the White Sox as they propel themselves to a 10-3 lead. We head to the top of the third here on the Windy City Sports Network. Stay with us. Top of the third inning we go. A 10-3 lead. No balls and a strike. Emma Morgan batting 4th in the lineup as she whacks one left field side and just goes out.
A little bit early on the swing there, but you could tell she really liked that pitch.
Yeah, that stayed in fair territory. That could have been potentially gone. No balls, 2 strikes. Simpson, the 0-2, skied high. Herrera with a catch. Wow, what about that? Amazing catch from Herrera. That's the second time she's had that today. That's not easy to do. As that ball gets popped up, she's got to take off her mask with the sun in her face, too.
It was right against the fence there, too. She did a good job reading that and not just kind of letting it go, because when it's that high up in the air, like you said, it was sky high. It could be hard to tell where exactly it's going to fall, but she stayed with it. She stayed underneath it and made a really good play.
1 down. Simpson delivers in for a ball. Maya Trowbridge, one of 3 runners to get home for the Royals. She was walked her last time up at the plate. And she swings and misses at that 1-1. A ball and a strike. The 1-1. Fouled back, 1-2.
Yeah, and Simpson's fastball here, she's just throwing it right down the middle. That's definitely her comfort zone.
One down, the 1-2, swing and a miss. Simpson, once again, you talked about that fastball, working that right edge. She sends Trowbridge down swinging. So Capria Derby, who was also walked as well. Simpson shoves one outside, 1-0. Two gone, the 1-0, and once again fouled out. One ball, one strike. The 1-0 count. The 1-1. And that one is hit high into left field. All the way over is the left fielder, Crane. And makes a routine catch. So the White Sox getting it done on the defensive end. They go 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the third. On WCSN. Bottom of the third inning as Janiah Pillow just bunts it away, but pitching change for the Royals. Annabelle Breedlove, the second baseman, she stepped onto the mound. That means Maddie Morris to second, Derby to third. Oh, and 2 count. 2 quick foul balls. So a good job from Breedlove to get ahead in this count. And the 0-2. Just a bit high. The 1-2. And low and outside, so Pillow does a job to fight back in this count, 2-2.
She's liking that right side.
Certainly seems to, as that ball popped up into the infield. Morris under it, and Breedlove just could not make the communication go as Pillow just quickly races to third in a blink of an eye. And we've seen that a couple times today from a couple different teams, just the miscommunication goes into effect.
Yeah, they're both making a run at it. It looked to me, I couldn't hear, but it looked like Morris was trying to call for it, and she got frustrated after the fact when they kind of bumped into each other, and that ball didn't wind up in either of their gloves.
Harrison, sharply hit driven ball on the ground, drives in a run. As Pillow glides on home, Maya Harrison once again. Another RBI for her.
Yeah, she's throwing all of them to that right side, and I think they're picking up on it. They know whether it's coming straight and it's going to break or it's just on its way to the right the whole time. They know it's going to be on that right side, and so they can read it. And when that's kind of the point I was making earlier with Simpson and her fastball. When you throw the same pitch over and over and over and over again, they're going to pick up on it. They're going to know where they need to swing, where they need to get it on their bat, and it's not going to end well for the defensive team.
Yeah, the Royals have been a little bit one-dimensional with the pitching. White Sox have a lot of talented hitters, though. Zaria Hatcher. Two balls and a strike. Hatcher had a single, and she also flew out. That was lobbed on the right side. 3-1. Three balls, one strike. The 3-1 from Breedlove. Well low near the ankles of Hatcher. She'll take first. Harrison remains at second. This brings in the second baseman, Olivia Calderon. Harrison gets to third, and a wild pitch and a wild throw from, that brings in Harrison. Twelve to 3.
It seems like there's just a lot of miscommunication with the team, and when you're bringing a group of people together that don't normally play with each other, that aren't used to playing as a group, it's not always gonna gel, and that seems like that's kind of what's happening for this Royals program, this club, on the softball field today. They're just not. And you see them trying to work it out. They've mixed up their pitchers, sent them in the infield, and brought in infielders to play pitcher. So they're trying to figure it out. But their initial game plan wasn't working, and then so they're trying to concoct something that kind of flows, that's able to defend well, and hopefully get themselves back in to this game and the tournament.
2-1, fouled out. Low on the ground left side. Yeah, like you talked about, and then it just goes back to the point we were making earlier. It's a fairly new program, just trying to see and mix and match the right pieces. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2. Hatcher at third. So full count. Delivery up ahead, and the 3-2 just a bit high. So Calderon will take first. Runners at the corners. Silvas. She'll step in. She's had an RBI double and a walk. Silvas hits one foul. White Sox, they have the late game tonight at 5:30, so as Calderon takes second. They didn't look over there as Juliet Tatalanga is that catcher.
Mentioned the White Sox have that late game tonight. It's against the Cubs. That kicked off the senior baseball stint today. White Sox came away with that one, and they're off to quite the start here as they play their first game of pool play. 12 runs through 3.
They've put up at least 2 runs in an inning. Looking to add more. 3 balls and a strike. The 3-1 way high. Silvas. A lot of speed, and she'll get to first. So the base is loaded. Mia Holcomb of Simeon High School in Chicago. A rising senior. 9 combined hits, 15 combined runs. 12 of those belong to the White Sox. This is Mia Holcomb's first at-bat today, and she'll see a strike going 1. The 0-1. And boy, she did not need to swing at that. That was going
way in.
Yeah. 0-2. It is her first at bat today. She is eager to add some more runs for her team. The 0-2. Outside. 1-2. A 1-2. Holcomb slices the shallow right fly ball into the glove of Zaragoza, but that's going to tag up Hatcher. She's going to round home. Sac fly RBI for Holcomb. Did her job.
Yeah, good thing on the coaches there for putting her in there, recognizing that she could drive in another run. Sox are up by 10 now.
She pops one up, and Morris is able to make the catch. Good throw there. But Silvas tags up and gets to second. The Royals need to be a little bit better and more cautious. There's a lot of speed for the White Sox. So Crane in the 9-hole spot. Calderon at third, Silvas at second. That ball goes left to the left field line in foul territory. The White Sox 13, the Royals 3. No balls and a strike with 2 outs. Two gone, the 0-1 in the dirt. 1-1. A 1-1 from Breedlove. 2-1. And boy, Breedlove looked like that. Lobbed it down there as stealing home is Calderon. Silvas on her way from third to home. And how about that? The base running of the White Sox has been exceptional today. Making the right decisions and with the speed that comes with that. They have been a problem to be reckoned with.
Yeah, it's a very fast lineup. I saw that from the first time Rainey ran over to first. It was Fowler. It was something didn't count, but she ran over there, and she got her legs moving. The top of the order, as I've said, can really get their feet moving.
And a sharply hit ground ball to the third baseman, Derby. Crane gets over. That's a wild throw. Crane on her way to second. Now gets home to third. An error. 6-3 error. Or 5-3 error. That has been issues to it. Has been the throwing and trying to get players out.
It seems like when you poke a hole in these Kansas City floodgates, the whole dam collapses and it's just floodgates wide open.
Yeah, they started, they had not the best of starts, but that top of the second, boy, that looked like that sparked a lot of life in the team. It certainly did. Gracie Hatcher, 3-run inside the park home run. But since then, on the defensive side is where they've had their issues.
And it can be hard. It's just a domino effect, and it can get in your head. You just, your team's making mistakes. Things aren't going the way you want them to, whether it be on the mound, defensively, just any of those things, they add up, and it can really be discouraging. It can get in your head, especially with how they're kind of stacking up today for this Kansas City team.
15-3 in favor of the White Sox. No balls and a strike. The 0-1. Swing and a miss low. 0-2. So Maya Davis now. And a Marian Catholic. Crete, Illinois. The 1-2 from Breedlove. Down the plate for strike 3. And that will end the inning.
That's a really good pitch.
That was a great pitch. It's 5 runs in the bottom of the third for the White Sox as we head to the top of the fourth, 15-3 in favor of the team in Chicago. To the top of the fourth inning we go. 15-3 in favor of the Chicago White Sox. As that ball chopped out into the glove of the second baseman. remind you in the run rule, if they are up 12 runs after 4 innings, just like how the first game went, they will call it. 1 out. Simpson. On Gracie Hatcher, who had that remarkable 3-run inside the park home run. Thoughts on Janelle Simpson's pitching? It's been good for the most part.
Yeah, it has. She has been good. She's been very consistent. I think, like I said, she loves that fastball, but it's working pretty well for her. She kind of gets a little break on it right at the end with some of them, but a lot of them she's just kind of throwing straight down the middle over home plate, and she either catches girls swinging or catches them looking with the way she's throwing it.
It's Annabelle Breedlove at the plate. Simpson has been good. 1 gone. Simpson delivers. Breedlove fouls back. Two balls and a strike with 1 out. White Sox looking to close this game early. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The 3-2 from Simpson is low.
Sometimes all you need to kind of get back into the swing of things is just get someone on base. You know, it's something little. It's a walk, but it's something there. And when you're in a big deficit like Kansas City is right now, sometimes that's kind of just what you need to try and get the ball rolling again. It's good to just have something. You count the little victories in situations like this.
Down the plate, Simpson, beautiful pitch.
That was a very pretty pitch, I was just about to say.
Rising above, and that ball glided and hit the top of the strike zone. 1 down, the 0-1. A shallow pop-up in the infield. Simpson does her job, throws it on to first. Hopner steps in. 2 gone. Breedlove stands at first. Simpson looks, delivers, and a swing and a shallow ground ball over to the second baseman. Throws on to first. And that should do it. The White Sox come into the first game as they open up pool play with a dominant 15-3 win over the Kansas City Royals. Gabby, thoughts on this game?
I mean, just kind of the same themes that we mentioned all throughout the broadcast. Kansas City trying to find their rhythm, find what works for them. They're a much newer program. The Chicago White Sox RBI program is very well established. They have deep roots, and so that can help a team really come together if you have a lot of returning players. And like we've mentioned, they do. So some of these girls know each other. I'm sure some of them, without looking at a roster, play with each other or have played with each other. And so that firm foundation can really help solidify it, and especially the confidence that they probably have this year coming off of last year. I mean, competing with the 2 best teams in the region, and with them now in their minds kind of out of the way, they know they have an opportunity to do something really cool here, they're looking to make an appearance in Florida and a really strong start. This could be just a really good bolster of momentum for this White Sox program to get them off the ground the rest of the weekend.
It certainly is that. So the White Sox handle business 15-3 after 4 innings. They'll play later tonight against the Cubs at 5:30. But for now, the Gary and the Cubs will take center stage at 3:15. We'll see you back here in about 30 to 45 minutes for the Gary and the Cubs. Coming up on the Windy City Sports Network.